Jeffrey Lord from CNN has been fired. They have parted ways. Jeffrey Lord is, the token conservative voice that comes up and says Trump things and then gets yelled at by everybody. Well, apparently he went too far. Here is what he tweeted. Sieg Heil, which is a Nazi salute. The full story is Jeffrey Lord had been kind of at war with Media Matters, saying that they had been going after Sean Hannity and trying to get his sponsors to pull out their sponsorships because of Hannity's behavior. And Jeffrey Lord kind of called him out, saying that they're fascists. The quote that he said is, Media Matters are fascists and anti-free speech bigots who, in typical fascist style, make it their mission to shut down free speech they don't like. It's kind of a typical response from conservatives to kind of call anyone who wants to hold folks responsible for their behavior and actions fascist for shutting them down. And so here is so Jeffrey Lord wrote an article about that, wrote a column, and Angelo called him out. Here's the tweet. He said that Jeffrey Lord had spelled his name wrong in the column heading, and then Jeffrey Lord said Sieg Heil, essentially calling him out for saying he's a fascist. Then the next tweet, nice try. I will be happy to mock Nazis and fascists any day, and since you lead Media Matters fascists, I understand why you hate it. So, seeing the Sieg Heil, it seems that CNN has parted ways with him, saying Nazi salutes are indefensible. Jeffrey Lord is no longer with the network.
Okay, so I've got a couple of things to say. First of all,
ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
They might actually be saying that at Media Matters headquarters, but A, we didn't get him. B, he got himself by tweeting that, saying that, come on, you gotta know that CNN's gonna be touchy about that.
Are they though? Is CNN gonna be touchy about that? I mean, CNN employs all sorts of contributors that are batshit crazy, right? And they do it on purpose because they know it helps their ratings. People like the train wreck. They know other media organizations like Mediaite will cover their clips if they have insane people on a regular basis. So they specifically seek out lunatics. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, he said something really offensive on Twitter. I guess we're gonna have to fire him. Look, Jeffrey Lord is a bad person. There's no question about that. But firing him is putting a tiny little Band-Aid on a gushing wound, okay? And the gushing wound is CNN's hiring decisions. They hire lunatics. I'm not saying that they shouldn't represent or have people come on to represent, conservatives or the right wing, but they specifically go for crazy people like Scotty Nell Hughes, for instance, who literally has no evidence to back up anything she ever says. And they love it, they love it. They know it's gonna get covered by other media outlets because people love watching train wrecks. So I think CNN needs to really reevaluate their own hiring behavior before they take the moral ground on anything.
So I have the right tweets here. One of the tweets that Angelo Carasone used to call out Jeffrey Lord. So the actual tweet was, hi CNN/CNN PR, care to comment on your on-air talent issuing in serious and non-ironic way Nazi victory salutes. The problem I have with it here is listen, I think Jeffrey Lord's an idiot, but he wasn't being serious when he used Sieg Heil, especially if he has a history of calling Carasone a fascist. It's consistent that he's using the Sieg Heil to mock Carasone for, quote, shutting him down. Even though I don't buy into that whole argument, I think it's stupid when people say, oh, the left is trying to muzzle us because they're fascists. I don't think that Carasone, I would call this a flop. If it was in basketball, it would be a flop. It would like one of those soccer people who gets hit barely and then they just go, oh my God, and they freak out and drop their coinage. But that's the problem here. I think Jeffrey Lord has no business being on CNN.
Agreed.
If you're gonna hire someone to represent whatever he's purportedly represents, hire someone with a brain.
Thank you.
Not just like a rubber jawed fart carcass like Jeffrey Lord to just be and he smiles through it. He knows he's talking BS. He knows he's just signaling what he's supposed to do, collects his check and goes home.
Yes, and that's what I'm saying. And again, understand, I get what CNN wants to do, right? They're obsessed with pretending like both sides are equal in every situation, and they want to present all perspectives. But presenting the right-wing perspective doesn't mean that you have to have lunatics on your show. And that's what they do. And I think they do that on purpose. They don't want reasonable discussions.
Yeah, so first of all, let me be clear. Jeffrey Lord should not have been fired. Not for this. So I agree completely with Brett. He wasn't saying Sig Heil in a positive way. He was saying Sig Heil to Media Matters, accusing them of being fascist. He wasn't saying like, oh, I like Sig Heil as a thing. He was using it as an insult against Media Matters. So to fire him based on no context, I think is wrong. And so like what you missed that he was calling them fascist, it wasn't like they're making it seem like he was proudly fascist. He might be fascist for other reasons and we can all get into name calling. But in this case, he was using it as an insult. So this is what drives people crazy about the establishment media, right? So they have these nonsense rules. So I also agree with Anna, he should have never been hired in the first place. It's not to say you shouldn't have Trump advocates, but good luck trying to find a sane one that doesn't consistently throw out fabrications. But look, they have 12 other conservatives on air. It's not like they don't, he's the only conservative on air. And a lot of them are Trump advocates and some of them are Republicans who are against Trump. So they've got the whole range. So now basically this is probably CNN going, all right, we can let go of this one because we've got 12 others now, right? But look, the standard isn't don't hire conservatives. The standard is monitor what you guys are saying, your contributors are saying on air, and if they're saying things that aren't true, you have an obligation to your audience to explain that they're not true. And if you want to fire Jeffrey Lord for consistently saying things that aren't true on air, great, that makes sense. Or give him a warning about that, talk to your audience about it, have a discussion over it, and maybe you shouldn't hire a lunatic in the first place, et cetera, et cetera. And if you can't find a sane Trump advocate, that might also tell you something, okay? But firing him over this makes no sense. It's like an arbitrary thing of, oh, you said a word that you shouldn't say, even though it's in a completely different context, don't care, third rail, you're fired. So they're wrong on every front here. Yes. And I can't believe they got me to defend Jeffrey Lord in any way, shape, or form.
I know, exactly. And every so often, you'll get a headline about how frustrated Anderson Cooper was with the discussion on his show, or how frustrated Don Lemon was with, one of these lunatics making the comments that they typically make on his show. But where were you during the production of your own program? You signed off on it. It's not like you don't know who these people are.
You never, yeah. I think a lot of it with the 24-hour news cycle is just laziness and who's around. Who can we rely on to be there because I got 60 minutes and I gotta fill it.
There's
and Jeffrey
so
Lord
much
is like,
news.
you just pick up like old plates and like the sink in the kitchen, and Jeffrey Lord's like hiding under there, like his little slug nest. And it's like, Jeffrey, are you in there? Come out and speak on Don Lemon show. He's like, all right.
Yeah, look, and bottom line is, they hired him to be toxic.
Yeah.
Because it adds to their soap opera.
Yes.
So don't pretend that you're now all of a sudden outraged that he's toxic. That's what you hired him for. Help us build independent media. Become a member of the Young Turks. TYTnetwork.com/join.